Hello, welcome to Cooking with Pina. Today I'm going to make focaccia. It's a very simple bread. Actually, it has very few ingredients. It has salt, a little bit of sugar, and yeast, quite a bit of olive oil, as a matter of fact. And I'm going to use as a topping thyme and salt. But of course, people can use any kind of topping one wishes. You can use tomatoes, especially grape tomatoes. You can use anchovies, you can use salami, any type of a topping that you wish. It's like almost like a pizza topping, if you wish. Focaccia is a bread which you can use with any food you'd wish. You can use it as a side dish. One of my videos, I have eggplant that you can use it with. You could use it with zucchini. You can use any kind of vegetables, also with meat. And you also can use it as a sandwich by cutting it in the middle of the focaccia, and you can put whatever stuffing you wish. So here's the recipe. I'm going to have 4 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. But the first thing I'm going to do is to aerate the flour, because you don't want the flour to be too heavy, otherwise you get extra flour, which you don't want. And of course, if you're using a scale, it's 600 grams of flour, but I'm using cups right now, so it's 4 3/4 cups. And I like to count my cups so I don't lose track how many cups I have. When I get to 2 cups, I'm going to sift it. So I know these are 2 cups, and I can use my stir here. I like to use a sifter, so flour tends to be clumpy sometimes, and I don't want any clumps in my flour. And that's 4 cups. So I'm going to still have 3/4 cup. As I said, if you're using a scale, it's 600 grams of flour. This cup has the measurements inside. As you can see here, I have a 3/4 cup. I'm going to use it. It is really important to aerate the flour, because otherwise it becomes too much flour and you don't want that. So I'm going to just make a hole in the middle. As you can see, just make a little hole here. And I'm going to put my 2 cups of water. You can use a lukewarm if you like, but I just use more cool than warm. 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of yeast, and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. You mix it before you're mixing the flour. Just mix the wet ingredients in there. Sometimes I put the yeast in the water container, but putting it together, it's fine. So, and then little by little, just add the flour in the middle. Raising time is only 1 hour. It can be 1 hour and 15 minutes. If you have a cool house, then it should take a little bit longer. But if your house is warm, it should take maybe just an hour. Take it from the bottom, so that all the flour from the bottom must be mixed. As I said, this is a very, very easy recipe. There is other recipes that are more complex, but I thought I like to do it simple. It doesn't take very long. I have a family who wants to eat all the time, so I can feed them quickly. You don't even have to use your hands to mix this. Sometimes I use just a wooden handle, but this seems to be working okay. As you can see, it's very wet, somewhat wet. Now this has to rise for, as I said, for 1 hour. My home is somewhat warm, so it shouldn't take longer than that. One can also put it in the oven, but the oven has to be cool. And you need some plastic wrap. And cover it. And that's it. As I said, this is a very simple dough to make. I'd like you to try it, and if you like it, give my thumbs up. Okay, I'm going to put a a cloth over. It's going to go in my oven. My oven is cool, it's not warm, and I'm going to set up the timer. I just set the clock for 60 minutes. If it hasn't risen as much as I want it to be to rise, so I just add another 15-20 minutes. Go with the focaccia. I'm making a small tomato salad, and I'm using these grape tomatoes, which are nice and sweet. You don't need these large tomatoes. I sometimes use plum tomatoes, also extremely good. This salad, we're going to eat the focaccia. I think these are called shiitake pepper. They're very good. They taste really nice with the, to take out these seeds. I don't want the seeds. One could get these shiitake anywhere, but I bought them at a farmer's market, which are extremely fresh. You can hear them, they sing when you cut them. They're very nice and crispy. You can make these shiitake peppers. You can fry them, you can bake them, you can put them in the oven, just the way, even with the top on it. Some fresh, these are also from the farmer's market. This is celery. You can put celery for nice crunch with the tomatoes. I eat this just for lunch sometimes. And of course, when I have focaccia and tomato salad like this, add some olive oil, maybe a half teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna have a garlic. You can cut it in half and then in quarters. If you like to eat the garlic, you can chop it in smaller pieces, but I just want the flavor of the garlic. I don't have any fresh oregano, but this is store-bought oregano. And now this dough has been rising for about an hour, and this looks very, very done, very nicely, and it's very soft, and that's the way it should be. I just put some olive oil in this baking pan, and I'm just brushing it on all over. This is important for the bottom, so the bottom gets a nice crusty. So it's easy because the dough at this point, it's extremely sticky. So don't let it scare you. Just put some olive oil on the spoon here, and then just let it fall naturally like this. Oops. Smells beautiful. It really does smell wonderful. It's it rised very, very nicely. I'm going to put some olive oil in my hands so I could better spread this. Now this needs to be spread all the way across this baking pan, because this is going to be the size of the focaccia. As I said, it's very sticky, but don't let it scare you. That's the way it's supposed to be. And now I need to put some plastic wrap. Again, it needs to rise for 30 minutes. The final step is the baking. And I'm setting my clock for 30 minutes. Yeah, now the dough has been rising for the last 30 minutes. And now I'm going to, this is the last step before baking. Some olive oil here. And then with my hands, I'm going to make some dimples on the focaccia. And hopefully some of the olive oil will go inside. And this will be actually really good for children to do. As I mentioned earlier, this topping I'm going to have thyme and just some salt. You can make like a topping for pizza. something like that if you like, but with fresh tomatoes, of course. Some thyme. I cut the stems as well. The stems are very, very thin. So I'm just spreading it off like this. Just spread it around like that with the salt. So I put salt in there, sort of a rock salt in it. As I mentioned, this is sort of basic focaccia. This is ready to be baked. The temperature, the oven temperature should be at 400 degrees Fahrenheit and should be between 20 to 25 minutes. When it's nice and rosy and nice and brown, golden brown, and I can lift it on the bottom to see how it is on the bottom. So that will tell me that it's completely done. Oh, it's nice and hot. And we're going to put it for 22 minutes. This is finished at the moment. I made this earlier so I can show you what it looks like. As I said earlier, there is salt and thyme. This, as I've shown before, is the front. I just also like to show you the bottom, and it's really well baked. It's this color, it will show it's really well baked and it's cooked through, and that's it. So I'm going to cut. Of course, it's really good when it's really nice and hot. It's really nice and moist. It is really good. Look, well cooked. This is the crusty part, which I really love, the crunchiest. So I'm going to put some tomato salad here and this together. I'm going to take the garlic away because I don't want the garlic. And this is how you eat it. It is absolutely delicious. This is a very easy lunch to make. You have some tomatoes, you have peppers, and you have celery, and you could put some, if you like olives, and if you like mozzarella, cut into cubes. You could put anything in the salad. And of course, you can eat the focaccia with it. It's incredible because you don't have very many ingredients. You have flour, you have salt, a little bit of sugar, and you have yeast and olive oil, a little bit of olive oil. The ingredients are not very difficult. And the way I did this one here was 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of yeast, and 2 cups of water and flour, of course. So it's very easy to remember when you have to make this. And this is my focaccia. I hope you like it. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up. And if you try it, please write me a note so I can, so I will know if you like it or not. But anyway, this is my focaccia. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to Cooking with Pina. Ciao, arrivederci alla prossima volta. Please make this focaccia. You will love it.